Hello, wonderful learners. Welcome to Easy Speak English podcast. I'm Priya, your friend and guide, and this is episode 21. Ready to speak English with confidence? You're in the perfect spot. Today we're using shadowing, a fun and easy way to sound natural. Shadowing means repeating what you hear, like copying a friend's voice. I used to feel nervous talking to new people, but shadowing phrases like, "Can I have some water?" help me chat smoothly. In this episode, you'll hear a special story about Sophie, a young woman in Boston, USA, full of conversations that changed her life. Listen to each sentence, then repeat it aloud, copying my tone, speed, and emotion. Practice as many times as you like. The more you shadow, the better your English gets. Grab a notebook, hit subscribe, and let's dive into the story. Let me tell you about Sophie. She's 24 years old. She lives in Boston, Massachusetts. She works at a small flower shop and loves arranging bouquets. She's good at her job, but she gets shy when speaking English. She always tries to smile and help customers. Her boss, Clara, is kind and patient. One day, Clara called Sophie over. She said, "Sophie, we're setting up a flower stall at a festival in Philadelphia." Sophie was stunned. Clara smiled and said, "We want you to go." Sophie couldn't believe it. She asked, "Are you sure?" Clara nodded. "You're our best arranger." Sophie felt so proud. It was her first big trip for work. She told her brother James, and he was thrilled. He said, "You'll be amazing." Sophie packed her bag and got her bus ticket. She was ready for Philadelphia. At the Boston bus station, something surprising happened. Sophie was waiting in line holding her ticket. A woman dropped her scarf nearby. It flew across the floor. Sophie picked it up and handed it to her. The woman said, "Thank you so much." Then she paused and asked, "Is your name Sophie?" Sophie was confused. She said, "Yes, but how do you know?" The woman smiled. "I was your art teacher, Miss Evans." Sophie gasped. "Oh my gosh, Miss Evans." They hugged and laughed. Miss Evans said she now lives in Maine. She was going to Philadelphia for a family reunion. Sophie said, "It's so good to see you." They talked about school days. They exchanged numbers and boarded the bus. Sophie felt so happy. On the bus, Sophie looked out the window. The fields and towns passed by. She felt nervous but excited. This trip was going to be special. She arrived in Philadelphia in the morning. The city was busy and bright. She took a taxi to her hotel. The driver had a friendly accent. Sophie said, "Can you take me to the hotel?" He nodded. "Sure thing." At the hotel, Sophie checked in. Her room was on the 8th floor. The view showed the city skyline. She said to herself, "This is incredible." She felt ready for the festival. The next day, Sophie went to the festival site. The stall was colorful with roses and lilies everywhere. She set up the bouquets and greeted visitors. People loved her designs. Clara called and said, "Great work, Sophie." Sophie smiled. "Thank you." After the festival, Sophie had a free day. She wanted to explore Philadelphia. She took a map and walked to the Liberty Bell. The area was full of tourists. While walking, Sophie slipped on a wet path. Her ankle hurt and she sat on a bench. People passed by, but no one stopped. She tried to stand up. A young man ran over. He asked, "Are you okay?" Sophie said, "I think I hurt my ankle." He helped her sit comfortably. He said, "Let's find a pharmacy." His name was Liam and he was so kind. Sophie said, "Thanks for helping." Liam smiled. "No problem at all." Liam said he worked as a photographer in Philadelphia. He loved capturing city life. Sophie said, "That's so cool." They talked about flowers and art. Sophie's ankle felt better. Liam said, "Let's get some coffee." They walked to a small cafe nearby. Sophie ordered and said, "Can I have some water?" The barista nodded. "Coming right up." They drank and laughed together. Sophie felt a warmth in her heart. Liam was so easy to talk to. Sophie said, "Let's stay in touch." Liam gave her number. That evening they walked through Old City. The streets were lit with soft lights. Liam pointed to a mural. It showed a garden full of flowers. Sophie gasped, "Is that yours?" Liam nodded. "I painted it last year." Sophie said, "You're so talented." She felt so lucky to meet him. The next day, Sophie visited a gift shop in Rittenhouse Square. She wanted gifts for her family. She saw a small photo frame. It had a tiny flower carved on it. It reminded her of her shop. She asked the shopkeeper, "Where is this from?" He said, "A local artist made it." Sophie bought it and smiled. She said, "This is perfect." As she left, she saw Liam outside. He was holding his camera. Sophie waved, "Hey, Liam." Liam ran over and hugged her. He said, "I was hoping to see you." They went to another cafe and talked more. Sophie felt so happy. That night, Sophie and Liam sat by the Schuylkill River. The water reflected the city lights. Liam showed Sophie photos on his camera. Sophie said, "These are beautiful." Liam looked at her and said, "I'm so glad we met." Sophie smiled. "Me too." Liam asked, "Will you visit Philadelphia again?" Sophie said, "I'd love to." Liam held her hand gently. Sophie felt calm and warm. She knew this trip changed her life. Sophie returned to Boston after 2 days. Her brother was waiting at the station. He saw Sophie's smile and asked, "What happened?" Sophie told him about the festival and Liam. James said, "He sounds like a great guy." Liam and Sophie called each other every day. Liam visited Boston after a month. Sophie's family loved him. They went to Liam's photo exhibit together. Watching Liam share his art made Sophie proud. Now they live together in Boston. Sophie still works at the flower shop. Liam takes photos and paints. They walk by the river often. Every time they pass that cafe, Sophie remembers their first talk. I hope you enjoyed Sophie's story. I hope you practice speaking English with this story. Thank you for joining me for Sophie's beautiful story, dear listeners. You shadowed her journey in Boston and practiced speaking English with heart. English is more than grammar. It's about people, connections, and moments that light up our lives. Keep shadowing until your voice feels strong and clear. Watch this video again, repeat after me, and practice every day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend who loves learning English. Drop a comment below like, "I shadowed, can I have some water?" Today. You're doing fantastic, and I'm so proud of you. Join me for another story next time.